Hey, it's Pastor James, and welcome back to our online devotional for this Advent season. We are focusing our devotional on a poem by Placido Cappeau called Midnight Christian. It is the poem that became the carol, O Holy Night. It's a great little poem. It's the poem that was then turned into the carol, O Holy Night. And we love that carol. Everybody loves to sing it, and so it's a nice piece to focus on this Advent season. We come to the second phrase in the poem, and Placido writes, "To erase the stain of original sin and to end the wrath of his Father." He's talking about the reason that Jesus came as God's emissary, why God sent forth his Son to us. And that phrase reminds me of what Paul writes in Romans 5:9 about this incarnation mission that God had for his Son. Paul says, "Since therefore we have now been justified by his blood, much more shall we be saved by him from the wrath of God." When I was in college, every summer, every break, I would do what I could to help earn money to pay for my college, help pay for college. And so I would frequently work on construction sites. And one of the jobs that I had that probably had it the longest, enjoyed the most, was greasing large pieces of construction equipment. One example of that was a drag line that had giant spools that cable wrapped around and were running constantly and needed to be greased. And so I spent my entire summer up to my elbows in grease. And when I went back to college, that grease stayed with me. It was in the fingerprints of my fingers. It was in every crack and crevice on every finger and every hand that I had. And it stayed with me for about 3 or 4 months. I would look at down at my hands at lunch and classes, and I would see the remnants of the stain of that grease from my labor in the summer. And what it would do is cause me to say, I don't want to do that forever. I need to make good grades so that I can do something different when I get out of college. And what Paul is saying about our sin is that Jesus came to remove the stain of that. You see, the thing is that I probably could have worked hard enough to remove the stains of that grease on my hand, but there's nothing that I can do to remove from me the stain of the sin of my past. But Paul says Jesus came to remove the stain of sin. That is the mission that Jesus was on. That was the price that he paid on the cross. And that is the reason that Christmas exists. It begins the story of that journey for Jesus to remove the stain of sin for our lives. Here's the good news. Whatever you've done, whatever sin you've committed, while it still may linger in your mind, if you surrender that to Jesus this Christmas, if you seek forgiveness, if you confess it, the stain of that sin on your soul will be gone. It will be removed, and you will be free. Trust that. May that gift of having that stain removed be the gift you give yourself this Christmas.